Hello everyone, I am Zane Trebor. I am the owner of Tree Fab Industries here in Watford City, North Dakota. We currently have a 2012 Miller 300 Pro with the Caterpillar motor in it. The common failures that I've seen in them running these machines is that the sending unit for the fuel tank goes out, especially with the older ones, because it doesn't have the new plunger style. It has a arm and float for it that being ridden on the back of trucks tends to jar it up enough to make it go out. And the indication for that failure, so you can come over here, is when we go to turn our machine on, or when we are running our machine, you can see that it is reading at 0 or that fuel is too low. But that is untrue. It is currently full. And so today I will be showing you guys how to fix this problem. So as we get into this, you'll see that there are several bolts. The way to access where the actual sender is, it is underneath of the top cap for these welders. There will be 6 bolts on the back side, 6 bolts on the front. You're going to have 2, 1 here, 2 here. This is your air box, and this is in the center of your welder. These are, if they're still factory, are going to be a 1/2 inch head on all these. And make sure that you have something around to not lose them. I know that when you go to start taking stuff apart, you tend to lose things, but we'll go ahead, take our 1/2 inch, go around, make sure that we don't lose these. Are a little messed up. These are extra long. Now when removing this, you don't need to remove this thief hatch, because this is for the radiator. Matter of fact, I only really need to remove this one and that one over there on this side, because if I open the door, it'll all come off with it. So if we don't actually have to remove these ones. If we take this door, access panel, and open that, we can actually take the whole thing off. Now, removal of the fuel fill cap is a necessity. Remove that. Make sure not to dump anything in there. I'm going to put it back on when we get it off. But there's removing that. All right. And then we'll just be very careful with it. Where we can access our top here. Make sure that's stable. I feel like it's going to fall off, but we'll be okay. Remember to put your cap back on. You don't want to drop anything into the fuel tank and then have to retrieve it later. Here's the location of our sending unit. So this is what we're going to be replacing today. And the kit that we have comes with connectors, because these old style ones used, the part number has changed. I'll put on screen what the old part number is, but the new part number is 267388, which is that new plunger style rather than the float. And you'll see the float when we go to take this out. But these new ones have quick connects on them. So let's get right into it. I like to take, some people like to do things by hand. Me personally, I like power tools. That one came out. That one came out. I would recommend though wiping this down so we're not dumping all this. So I'll get most of these off. So as we get into this, we're going to need to take these off. This is a 3/8. That's what I find it to be. One here. And a 3/8 here. We'll take these wires off. We'll make sure to put them over to the side. These two go together over here. This one goes by itself over here. All right. And then we will take our last screw out. Our last, get into that. Put that into there. See, the old style is a sort of a plunger and a float. Oh, all right. See the float? All right, there. Yeah. She's a floater. She's a lot different than the new style, like I was saying. This actuation, bouncing up and down a bunch and stuff, makes this go bad. And that's what we had. That one was going bad. And what I tend to like to do is make sure that we don't get anything in the fuel tank. So I like to wipe away, clean off, because we're going to be putting in a new gasket. So I like to take some shop towels or anything else and wipe away, clean this rim up, because we really don't want to get all that shit in there. I mean, that's what a fuel filter is for, but I also don't want this to leak when I go to put the new one on. So, all right. So we'll get out our new one. And in the package for the new one, be extra careful with it, we have a new gasket. There's actually a way to line that gasket up, which, gonna be honest with you, I wasn't paying attention. So we'll end up lining that gasket up. I'm pretty sure it's this way. Yep. Where all those holes are lined up the way that they need to be. So we got that in there. And then we're going to take our new one. We're going to put our new one down in there the same way. Just nice and easy. Nothing too crazy. Not trying to throw on in there. And all those should line up, because you notice there's 5 and not an even 6. So I'll come in here. Getting through the gasket is always the hardest part of these new gaskets. That's why I like to use the old trusty dusty automatic screwdriver. Here, get our next one. I wish they'd include new screws, but they do not. So. Now, I recommend, if you're using these, to turn it on to 2, so you're not getting too crazy with it. Like that. Just so it'll squeeze it out enough to where it's nice and sealed. You don't want to strip them. Yep. And she is good. Now let's get into the wiring. So earlier, when we took this apart, we had 2 wires here that are separate, and 2 wires that were together and 1 wire that was separate. This 1 wire is going to go to your black connection on your new sender. So what you're going to have to do, unfortunately, this kit only provided me with 1. I'm going to have to cut my connector off of this one, cut that off, and put in my 1 new quick connector. Come on, baby. All right, just like that. You put your new connector in. Let's see. Make sure we get her all crimped down and stuff. Make sure. There we go. There. I like to make sure that my wires aren't loose, so I pull them out. So this individual wire goes to the black one. So on the two connectors that were together, we're going to put them together. We're going to twist them together, and we're going to get another one of those slip-on connectors for us to tie into the white wire. Now, this kit did provide a alternative way to do it, and unfortunately, I couldn't get it to work with the size of the gauge of wires. I think the wires were too small for what the kit provided. So we'll just come in here. Besides, I like these connectors better than the Wagner connectors. I mean, the idea is cool, but you can see me crushing it down there. Yep. Check, make sure neither come out. We're going to connect it. And when we connect it, now our system is together. We should be able to see, we got our connectors here. We make sure to tuck our wires down in there. I'm actually going to zip tie these together in a second, but we're going to check to make sure that everything's wired properly. And when we go to turn this on, it should read full. I'm going to zip tie these wires. Zip tie them up into here. So that way they're out of the way and they're hanging out up here. But that's good enough for me. And then we'll go ahead and we'll cut our ends. I don't have my end cuts, so we'll just do that. And now we'll go ahead and we'll remove this cap and we'll put our top back on and everything will be good to go. Remove our cap. Here. Set her on down there. We're gonna go ahead and grab our top. I don't know what that was, but it made a noise. Make sure get our exhaust on. Right there. These down. Remember, put your cap back on. Don't want to put anything in the fuel tank. And then do what we started with. So I like to go for this one as one of my first ones. We made it. Look at that. And then we'll end up buttoning everything else up. We're on reverse there. That is the wrong size. Get that right there. Let's get our box of goodies. So on this one, it had these not the right size ones in the middle. So we'll go ahead and I think those ones are just there for looks. Zane, did you put those there for looks? Yes. Yes, I did. It looks like it's holding something. Is it really holding something? We don't know. Looks like it. Should get everything else buttoned up. She cuts to that and she goes, oh my gosh. He said you ain't got no nipples. It'd be something like that, I don't know. Now that you guys have seen how to replace your sending going from the old plunger style, which tends to fail, to the new style of plunger, where this one has that actuation arm with the float, and this one just has that float. Hopefully this helped you guys out in fixing your welders. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. I might be able to get back to you. I'm not a real internet-y guy, so. But thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, and catch you on the next one.